Hey everybody, how's it going? We are just making sure everything looks good. Get everything set up. Hey Michael, good to see you, man. Um, Today was a productive day for me. I spent a bunch of time working in my GitHub repo. In fact, one of the changes I made just before the stream was to import the latest version of um, Log Observable. So we should be able to see if I do a solve one cell and then I do an undo. Hey, wait, that just work? Does my redo work? Um, but we can see like the latest version of log observable is working. I'm using it straight from npm. I did a bunch of upgrading on it today, but I'm more interested in the fact, let's just reset this grid, right? And let's just solve a cell. Like we'll solve a few cells and then we'll undo a few cells. That looks like it works. So what if I put a 1 here, 2 here, let's put a 3 here, 4 here, and a 5, right? If I undo this and then redo it, well, wait a second. Well, that's fun. So hitting redo right here shouldn't do anything. So I'm curious if I go all the way back and undo. All the way back to the beginning. So undo's not doing anything. But it's hilarious to me that if I hit undo a few times and hit redo a few times. Oh, you know why that is? I know what's going on here. We've got another bug, but we're getting close. I do know what changed, um, and why it's working. Um, I didn't expect what I did to fix it, but you can see here, where is my upgrade? Log observable. Did it not upgrade it? Anyway, I'm jumping right into things today because my mind is just focused on what's going on. But welcome to the stream. This is the last one of the year. So happy New Year to everybody here in a couple days. But I'm very curious what's going on here. So it did upgrade it, and I do know how to upgrade this too. I actually discovered some stuff with NX, and I'm excited to get into that. So interesting. It didn't mark it as. Oh, it did. It's right here. Never mind. Yeah, it went from 0.4 to 0.5. So that was my release from today. And I'm hoping to get my articles finished up over the next few days and get those published. So, yeah, cool. So the undo redo feature requires here. So we're watching this grid command, right? And what's happening is we're walking backwards, but if something changes at that point, we aren't actually, so we're just pushing stuff onto the command stack. But if something changes, we aren't changing the command stack. So what we want to do is just add clear old commands. What does state.clear old commands do? Undo. This is what we're missing. This call right here. I was actually gonna write that out, but good thing Copilot had my back. Yeah, this clear old commands is the piece we were missing. So we wanted to take a look at the current index, and if that's less than the length of the command stack, then we need to slice off the end of the command stack. I believe that should fix everything for us. So now if I go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I go back a few, and then here I go 4, 5, 6, 7. Now if I hit redo, it's not going to do anything, but if I hit undo, and if I redo from this point, oh. I've got a problem here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Undo, undo, undo. Redo. Still broken. So we have to know if we're in an undo or a redo state here. That's one piece of it. So we can't rely entirely on that changing. Hmm. There's some logic that needs to go in here. And that's the problem, right? We should only push to the command stack. if we've determined that there's actually a new command going on. Otherwise, we just let it go up and down. Command stack. So it has to happen here because this is where the value changes happens. But we need to know what initialized the value changes. And what I want to do is avoid I want to avoid some complicated if logic and flags, but what I'm thinking about is, let's go take a look. Oh, no, there it is, right there, xCalidra, right? And let's get a new canvas. And so we basically have a few states. Let's make this one that color. And this is user input state, right? And this is again where xState is going to help us out. So we've got this user input state. We'll group this. Not group these. There we go. So here's our user input state, right? We also have another state. And this state is the undo state. And then we have one last state. And this is the redo state. And this is where xState would be really nice to have already. But basically, what we have is this state needs to be able to loop back on itself. Right. And this is the default state also. So this state never really transitions away from itself. To transition into the undo state, we need somebody to press the undo button, right? And then from this state, they would transition here. right? So the undo button pushes them into this state, and this state then would transition to this state, right? So, and then we would stay here, right? This is the default state. To get into this state, we do the undo button. To get into this state, the redo state, we press the redo button, right? So to transition from here to here, we press redo. And then to transition from here to here, and then we just transition back to the default state from here, right? Oh, that's an ugly mess. Let's try that again. So there we go. So now we've got our state machine, right? So to transition out of this state here, right, to this state here, you press the redo button, right? And let's move you over here. Oops. You can go there, and you can go there. And maybe we'll put you like down here, right? And so to transition from here to here, you just, right, you press the redo button. And so this is our default state. This is our initial state. And then you can transition into an undo state by pressing the undo button. You can transition into the redo state by pressing the redo button. And these two states might be the same thing. I forget if I asked, did you listen to the recent Angular Plus show? I haven't listened to the recent Angular Plus show episode on it. Did they have David on the show, Michael? That would be really cool. I need to go listen to that. But anyway, so this is kind of our state diagram, right? So we're usually in this state, and in this state, in the user input state, we have a couple of things that we want to have happen, right? First of all, we want to set the stack to current pointer, and then we want to add our command to stack, right? So can I not grab there we go. So in the user input state, these are the two things that we want to have happen. So when the update command happens and we're in this state, we want these two things to happen. If we transition to the undo state, then we want two things to happen, or we want just one thing to happen, right? Well, no, there's two things. So the first thing we want to have happen is in the undo state, we decrement stack pointer, and then we also send current command. But 3, we ignore all stack updates, right? So I guess there are 3 things that happen in this state. And really, this is the same here, except instead of decrementing, we increment, right? So we increment the pointer, we send the current command, and then we ignore all stack updates. And that transitions us back, right? So really we have 2 states. We have this state, and then we have kind of a no-op state. So it was with David. That sounds cool. David's really amazing, very, very smart person. I need to check it out. Because I really like xState, and I like state machines, and I like thinking about state machines. So we've got 2, basically we've got 2 states really. And let's draw those out, right? So this is one state right here. And our second state is right here. You know what? We can probably grab this and this. So these are our 2 states, right? This is a state where when we're in this state, we set the stat, we update the we truncate the stack size to the current stack pointer, and then we push our stuff onto the end of it, right? The second state is kind of what we can call a no-op state, where basically we decrement the stack pointer, we send a command, and we ignore all stack updates. But this state needs to transition back to this state as soon as it ignores a command, right? So how do we do this, right? Well, first of all, this is the default state. So we can actually pull this out and introduce a method. And we'll call this method, we'll call this default handler for now. We're gonna use this, but let's grab this. And we'll take it down here and we're going to use it, right? So our default handler is the state that we're going to be in when we want things to happen, right? And they're going to have the same they're going to have the same, what do we want to call it, like and really we could just call this grid state. That'd be fine. No, we can't call it grid state, can state is grid state. And then we take in a row. I need to import grid state. Oh, I need capital S here. So row is a number. Column is a number. And previous value is self-state or undefined, right? So our state doesn't work. But I think we can just do like deep signal here of a grid state, and that should work, right? So now that that actually works. It's ugly. So state signals. Could probably do this. I say type undo redo state equals this. And then here I can say undo redo state. And then down here for my state, I can actually do this, type undo redo feature equals type of type undo redo state. Maybe I don't need this. So now my undo redo feature should be able to put that down here. It doesn't like state.grid now. Because type of isn't what I want. I want return type on this. Return type of this. Right? Do I even need that? Because type really just does what I'm trying to do with the undo redo state. Yeah, that actually wound up being much easier. Why doesn't it like grid? Is it signal state now? No. It really is return type. Type that. It doesn't like this. Maybe it's type of. Man, now that's ugly. That's not actually the type just grabs that type off of it. The signal store feature see, it returns a signal store feature inner signal store. Boom, boom, boom. So that's what we want. We want inner signal store here. And inner signal store, undo redo state, but inner signal store is the state, the props, and the method. So now you have to go here and you have to go state, undo signal state, props, and then undo redo state, methods. does it think state looks like right now? State dot props methods and state signals. That's not what we want. That doesn't work. So here, the shape of state is that. So state signals will turn it into what we want, but this state last cell updated is incompatible with index signature. And this is where things can get tricky, is with passing the state around. You know what? What I could do is it's like patch state right here, right? What is its index signature? So it's a writable state source. What does that give us? So writable state source. Bring that in. And then we can just say grid state here. I've got now what does state look like? State dot state source, of course. That's definitely not what we want. I just want to be able to pass the state to it. What would state be here? Like the original thing that it put, and I don't want to go clear back. So writable state source is not right either. If we take a look at patch state, it doesn't, like it infers, where's my patch state? So here, like patch state infers a writable state source. And then it has updaters that are based on that writable state source. Use here and I use here, but really I need it here and here. Yeah, I don't want to do this. I mean, this would work. Oh, you know what I could do? No, I need the generics for my handler, but that's not going to work for this, right? Because type T. Could say T extends deep signal grid state, right? And that's going to fix this because now I know I've got a grid state here. But these two are broken. But I could also say and and really we could say instead of this, we could just say undo redo state and it extends undo redo state methods, right? That should work. No, it doesn't. It does not exist on type T. Oh, and I need props. And undo, redo state, props. Right, that should give me what I want. No, because clear old commands does not exist on type T. Oh, you're right. It does not exist on type T. Throw some any into that bad boy and call it a day. Ah, this is like the struggle, right? Definitely. I guess the other thing I could do is it can extend return type type of that. Um, let's take a look and see what we get here, right? So type with undo redo equals the return type of that. So this return type has a store on it. We could probably wrap this in their prettify to make it a little bit easier to understand. Right? And so now the type is with undo redo. No, that's ugly. Undo redo. Right? Because what I want to do is get to a point where okay, so return type is not what I want. I think it's signal store results, feature result. Does that not work? Oh wait, did that just fix it? No. Dang it. Maybe I just want signal store feature. That's where I always type of this. And now I can do return type, right? Here. Now it doesn't like this. props that, methods that, is it my prettify maybe? No. And I'd work these out. Yeah, prettify is pretty cool actually, because it will take some pretty ugly code and turn it into something useful. And I'd worked these out before, to where we could get the return type. So like with undo redo returns a signal store feature. So really, actually, I just need to use instance type here again. Am I just overthinking this? Like, if I change this from return type to instance type, that's not going to work because and signal store feature results is not generic. X, what do I have here? I've got length, apply arguments. If I throw return type on this, now X has length, or I just want to be able to get the shape of the state. And our state here has a shape of, like, what is with hooks? No infer. Grid command stack, no props, state that. See, these are just these big, ugly things. This returns a signal store feature. Hooks factory. Store is prettify state signals this. Can I use the same thing here? Boom. And instead of input, we can just say all the way across. No, this still doesn't work. This tells us maybe this shouldn't exist outside of my state. Which is simple enough to fix. We can just go here. We just say with methods and state. Boom. Boom. And a comma here. And so here we could have we'd have our no op state for our no op handler. And then the other one we want is our update handler, right? If we name these the same. So our update handler needs to take a couple of things in. So we need the row, the column. So row is a number. Column is a number. And previous value is a cell value or undefined. And so that works. So now we've got a handler that will happen in the case where and this, our no op really will take the same stuff in. But what it's going to do is it's just going to set everything back to the update handler. So we would set back to update handler here. And I don't even think. Like we can leave that as is. So here, instead of calling default handler, what we need is we need a prop on our state that will be our state machine. And so what we can do is we can just say, hey, we've got a handle update. I'm just going to do that. Great. And so here we can just say state dot handle update. And it doesn't like previous value because we didn't have it on there. No, we did. Are we calling this? Oh, we don't need state anymore. So now we've got the ability to handle our updates. So the next thing we want to do is in our on init. We can just say, hey, state dot handle update equals state dot update cell value, right? Not update cell value. What did I call it? Update handler. We should make these private. This is our update handler. And so that works. So now we need the transition, right? So right now, as it is, everything is going through that update handler, and we're never transitioning to the no-op handler. So what we could do is right here, we can just say, hey, state dot update handler, or state dot handle update equals the no-op handler. And we would do the same thing here. So we've got our no-op handler, but now we're in a problem because now we'll no longer get back. And so really all we need to do is add another with methods. Or maybe the better way to go is to do this, and then say return this. And then we can say that our update handler is that. So we can say, and we don't need the extra comma here. So we can say const update handler equals that and that. So there we go. So now we've got a function for our update handler. And I'm not sure I like this. But what we can now do is we can just say inside of here, we can just say state dot handle update equals update handler. And the underscore on it. And so basically we've created kind of a state machine, right? Where our concrete implementation of the states winds up being either the no-op or the update handler. And all no-op does is it transitions back to update handler. And it's going to do that in the handle update here. Does that make sense? So basically, if we go take a look at our state machine diagram here, right? This is the update handler. So update handler is this part of our state machine, and our no-op is right here, right? And so basically what happens is we transition, right? We're always in the update handler, so it always does this. But if we need to, we hit the undo button, it's going to transition to this state, the no-op state, right? The no-op handler. And the no-op handler will then transition back, right? So the no-op handler is always going to transition back to the state whenever it's called. So we decrement the stack pointer. We send the current command from the undo, basically the undo handler, the button handler, right? And then it also sets us to be the no-op handler. So as soon as we get that update, that no-op handler fires and puts us back in this state. And it's the same thing with the redo state, right? Let's see if that works. Ooh, that's ugly. Grid store 1325. Grid store 1325. What did I do? Am I just too many now? So signal store feature this is not assignable to this. Types of parameter store and store are incompatible. Boom. Is it my undo redo now that's my problem? No. With solver is my problem. It's the solver itself that's the problem. No. So it must be the combination of undo redo and solver, right? Doesn't like that one. That one's fine. It's definitely the undo redo. That whatever I've done with undo redo has made a mess. Oh, that's my problem. I don't want that. I want with props to set this up, right? So with props, um, because I'm adding a prop. I'm not expecting that prop to be there. Let's go back and look at with props. Okay. So we just return, and that means I don't even need this stuff down here. I can actually move this up into my with props. So handle update. And that won't work. So this needs to be, what was my type up here before? So I need it still here. So I can say here we have our with props. Hmm. So this needs to become a type. I don't need this undo redo state, but I can leave it there. It doesn't hurt anything. But type handle update prop equals that. So handle update is handle update prop. And it doesn't like that because that's a type. We'll do this as that. And now it's just complaining about a no-op, right? Which we can disable. For the current line. And that's kind of ugly. But it's going to work. Now my store doesn't complain. This is a bad name. We can instead rename this to undo, redo, handle, update. There we go. Undo, redo, handle update. It'd be nice if I could figure out the state thing on how to get this out. Because I'm not that elite. That's why, man. If I was that elite, I would definitely do it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Undo, nothing, redo, nothing. What did I do? What did I do? Let's just see if I've got, so we'll reset this. We'll just go 1, 2, 3, right? And when I hit undo, absolutely nothing happens. So why is nothing happening now? So we're calling the update cell handler. I wonder if we get into let's see if we get into the no-op handler. So here's the no-op handler, and let's just console.log no op handler, and let's just see if we even log that. Yeah, if only I could undo redo what I did in the code. And the problem, yeah, I mean, the biggest problem we've got is, so 1 and 2, and then if I hit undo at this point, so we're not even making it that far. So let's just console log here, undo. We make it that far. So 1 and then 2. And then if I click undo, so we do make it there. So we make it there. So the last command run, so let's just see if we make it here. Const or console.log undo. We'll log the command. Undo update. We'll log the command. So let's see what we get to at this point. I'll bet my stack isn't being updated. That's probably my bet. I'll bet this command is empty. Just thinking through it now. So if I go 1 and 2, and now I do an undo, yeah, there's nothing there. That command is empty. So here, let's just console.log handler, and we'll just do state dot undo redo handler dot toString. Well, I don't even need toString because I'm console logging it, right? So here, when I hit 1, it is that function. Maybe I do need the toString here. Let's see what I get when I do this. Let's go ahead and clear this console, and we'll just do 1, and then 2, and then click my undo. Oh wait, my handler is still the no op. And the other thing we'll do is we'll do state dot update handler toString. We'll just see when it initializes. There we go. So that's right. And that's right. However, when I run this, my handler is wrong. So it's like when we get to this point, it's not recognizing that that's changed. And here we can do the empty. So then we can say that we want to set it instead of so now we set it. This is going to make things ugly, but there we go. And the last one, I believe we just set this one. And then the no-op handler just needs to be updated. And I'm not sure why it's not seeing that object change. I need to think through that, but now if we hit undo, redo, we stop there, we stop there. If I go 4, 5, undo, redo. There we go. I could go 6, 7, 8 here, and right, like my undo works, my redo works. My pencil marks are all working. So there we go. There's our state machine. I'm really curious, and this is kind of a homebrew state machine. When we go over to xState, we'll be converting these over to real state machines. What I'm really curious about is why this state isn't mutating. And really, this no longer needs to be a prop anymore. The other thing we can do is this doesn't need to be a prop. We can actually put it on the state. So that now will just be that. There's that, and then initial command stack. It's from grid command stack. Oh, wait, I'm breaking things again. So handle update prop is not being used, but what we want to do is we want to look at this. And on our grid command stack, we want to add in this. We're also going to need to grab this. And we can export that type here. So there's our handle update prop, but then we've got an issue here where our and now we can add in the ESLint suppression there. And our undo redo feature. Oh, we need to patch the state now. Ugh. So now we can just say patch state, comma, that with this. And we do the same here, but this time now we use state.noop handler. And patch redo with the same thing. And then here, instead of no-op handler, we just do the update handler. Oh, and I'm missing parentheses on the end of all of these, which is fun. And a semicolon, but Prettier will take care of the semicolon for me. So this one needs a paren. And that one. Needs a paren. And so now we get 1, 2, 3, 4. Undo, undo, redo, redo, undo. 5, 6, 7, 8. Undo, undo, 5. Boom. Undo, redo, 5, 6, 7, 8. Add my 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Undo. Oh. My 9 is a problem. Let's reset the puzzle and figure out what's going on there. So 1, 2, undo, redo, 3, 4, undo, undo. 5, 6, 7, undo, undo. One, two, three, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Undo, 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 undo. Redo, 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 redo. How am I getting that to happen? 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is, right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Undo, 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 boom. Undo, undo, undo. Redo, 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 redo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Undo. So it's not clearing this cell. That's the problem. Did I have that problem before? I wonder if I had that problem before. I don't think I ever ran this test. Hmm. Check out an older branch. That might be a way to go. The problem, well, no, that could work. But my thought is that I probably had this problem before and it didn't show up. Why wouldn't that show up? So, I probably should end right now. There's something going on in the back room that I probably need to go pay attention to. We'll finish this Thursday. Because I think I know what the problem is. I just need to test my way through it. But thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. We'll be back Thursday, 5:30 p.m. Mountain. We'll finish this up, and then we'll get into the actual testing. I didn't expect this to take as long as it did. And maybe I should get into testing to help us track this down. It might help. But yeah, thank you guys, everybody, for hanging out. We'll see you next time. And in Happy New Year's, really.